Have you ever noticed how the loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest? In a world that screams for attention, where me first seems to be the default setting, there's a quiet strength, a hidden power that often goes unnoticed. It's the power of humility. Now, I know what you might be thinking, humility. Isn't that about thinking less of yourself, being a doormat? Not at all. True humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's about shifting the focus from me to we, from my needs to the needs of others. Today, we're going on a journey to explore this incredible virtue. We'll look at how embracing a humble heart can radically transform our relationships, our communities, and our own inner peace. And for those of us who follow Jesus, we'll see how humility is not just a good idea, it's the very core of his character and his greatest call to us. So, stick around, because what you discover today might just change the way you see everything. Let's start with a simple question. What does humility look like in everyday life? It's the friend who listens more than they talk, genuinely interested in your story. It's the team leader who gives credit to their colleagues instead of taking it all for themselves. It's admitting when you're wrong and asking for forgiveness. It's celebrating someone else's success without a hint of jealousy. These actions might seem small, but they create huge ripples. When we act with humility, we build trust. We make people feel seen, valued, and safe. Think about the people you admire most, the ones you truly respect. Chances are they possess a quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. They lead by serving. They gain influence not by demanding it, but by earning it through their character. But let's be honest, this is tough. Our culture celebrates the self-made individual, the one who hustles the hardest and shouts the loudest. We're constantly encouraged to build our personal brand, to promote ourselves, and to climb the ladder of success. In this environment, choosing humility can feel like choosing to lose. It feels counterintuitive, almost backward. And that's where the example of Jesus comes in, turning our worldly understanding of power completely upside down. The Apostle Paul wrote about this in his letter to the Philippians, and it's one of the most powerful descriptions of humility ever written. He says, "In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who being in very nature God did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant." Just pause and think about that for a second. The creator of the universe, the one with all power and authority, chose to make himself nothing. He didn't come to earth as a king demanding worship, but as a servant. He washed his disciples' feet, a job reserved for the lowest servant in the house. He spent his time with the poor, the outcasts, and the forgotten. He consistently put the needs of others before his own, right up to the very end. This is the ultimate example of strength and humility. Jesus showed us that true greatness isn't found in being served, but in serving. It's not about how high you can climb, but how low you can stoop to lift someone else up. His power wasn't in his position, but in his love. His influence wasn't in his force, but in his sacrifice. So how do we start to cultivate this kind of humility in our own lives? It's a heart posture, a daily choice. It starts with self-awareness. We have to honestly look at our own motivations. Are we doing things for recognition, or are we doing them out of genuine care for others? Are we quick to defend our pride, or are we quick to listen and learn? One practical step is to practice active listening. The next time you're in a conversation, make it your goal to understand the other person's perspective before you share your own. Ask questions. Be curious. You'll be amazed at how this simple act can deepen your relationships and reduce conflict. Another step is to look for opportunities to serve in secret. Do something kind for someone without any chance of getting credit for it. Pay for the coffee of the person behind you in line. Help a neighbor with their groceries. Clean up a mess you didn't make. These small acts train our hearts to find joy in giving rather than in receiving praise. And perhaps most importantly, we need to embrace a posture of gratitude. A humble heart is a thankful heart. When we regularly take time to thank God for what we have, it shifts our focus from what we lack to the abundance that surrounds us. It reminds us that every good thing is a gift, not something we've earned or deserve. This naturally quiets our pride and fosters a sense of contentment and humility. Living a humble life doesn't mean you can't be confident or have ambitions. Jesus was incredibly bold and clear about his mission. Paul was a driven and passionate leader. Humility isn't the absence of strength. It's the source of it. It's a confidence so deep that it doesn't need external validation. It's a freedom from the exhausting treadmill of self-promotion. When we put others first, something amazing happens. Our own anxieties begin to fade. The pressure to perform and impress disappears. We find a deeper sense of purpose in contributing to something bigger than ourselves. We begin to reflect the heart of Jesus, becoming hands and feet that serve, ears that listen, and a heart that loves unconditionally. Imagine a world where this was the norm. Imagine families where everyone sought to outserve one another. Imagine workplaces where collaboration trumped competition. Imagine communities where the strong lifted up the weak. This is the world that humility builds. It's the world Jesus invited us into. This journey towards humility is a lifelong one. There will be days we get it right, and days our pride gets the best of us, and that's okay. The key is to keep turning our hearts back to the ultimate example of Jesus, asking for his help to have the same mindset, to see others the way he sees them, and to love them the way he loves them. The power of humility is real. It's the quiet force that changes hearts, heals relationships, and truly changes the world, one selfless act at a time. It's the path to true greatness, a path of service, love, and incredible strength. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this has been an encouragement to you. If you found this message helpful, I'd be so grateful if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How have you seen the power of humility at work in your own life? Until next time, take care and keep seeking that quiet strength.